our myth. We like to debunk stuff. So our myth for this week that we're going to debunk is this: you can set your own schedule. Now that's a reason that many people get into business for themselves. The whole idea that if I'm in charge, I get to do what I want, when I want.
Well, after all, you're the boss, aren't you, Adam? Can't the boss do whatever he wants to do?
Now this is a good goal to have. It really is. And for those who have been in business for a while, they do tend to get a little more control over their schedule to a certain extent. When I say flexibility, people talk about the whole idea. I had somebody mention years ago that you can work 12 hours a day. You pick whichever 12 hours they're going to be, but you're going to be working 12 hours a day. So it may not be from 7 to 7. Let's say maybe you mix it in and you're up till 3 o'clock in the morning because you had to do something in between to go to a kid's event or something like this, or you maybe wanted to play some golf or whatever it might be, but you're going to be working 12 hours. You get a chance to decide which 12 hours they're going to be.
Well, that's why it's a myth that we're debunking.
We're debunking. Well,
that's right. That myth prevails, that you as the owner, you as the boss can set your own schedule. Clients, crises of multiple sources and types, that kind of defines a schedule, doesn't it?
Well, I'll say a couple things that get in the way. Customers are one. Employees could be another that wind up getting in the way. Some vendors or family stuff. But here's a big one that gets in the way for a lot of small business owners. That's regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Right, gets
That's
in the way.
a good one.
Right, I have to comply with this or do that, fill out paper. I've got to do certain things by a certain time frame. So all of a sudden there's folks from the outside world that are coming in and pressing in on your schedule. They don't care what you think your schedule should be. They say, hey, I want this now. Or I want this by X date. And so all of a sudden your schedule gets made up for you.
That's right. It happens all the time. But everyone, all employees like to have the freedom of setting their own schedule, not just the boss. And the myth is that there are certain things that have to be certainly done on a daily basis, weekly basis, but also when these other issues come up, who has to handle them? Well, you have the best schedule in the world, and it means nothing if we'll define it as a crisis. You know how we feel about crises. There aren't too many things other than the burning building down that can't wait a little bit. But when it comes to scheduling, you have to respond, and unfortunately that schedule gets disrupted. So what do you do when that happens? What do you do when that happens, Adam? What you do is you meet it. You meet it. And what we're doing is basically in our schedule trying to set goals and metrics to be accomplished.
Yeah, that's always helpful to have that in place because things will get in the way. We had a client the other day that was a little late for the meeting. He had a sick employee, but there's production that had to get done. So what did he do? He got up and he got to work at 5:30 in the morning to try to make sure he could make our 8:30 meeting. He was a little bit late, and his partner made it on time. He's about an hour late, but he made it. But he woke up an extra 3 hours early to get stuff done because things had to get done.
That's
so we get there, get things kind of started, get things moving along the way. It wasn't part of his plan, but to your point, Jack, when things come up, well, you can choose to ignore it or put your head in the sand or say it's somebody else's problem, but that's not setting the right tone for the rest of the organization, making it somebody else's problem.
Well, you start out and should start out with a plan or a schedule every day. And you should come in, driving into the office, assuming you work in an office. You should have an idea of what that day is going to start out like, and you should have a schedule. And there's no question that if you can keep to your schedule, you're going to be way more productive than getting bounced around, in the give and take of the business world, just conducting your business. So there's a certain amount of discipline that could be engendered here, that if that's the case, you can work to a schedule much better than otherwise waiting for the phone or waiting for the next email or waiting for the next person to come walking in your office. And what are you doing? Well, you're getting tugged around, and the productivity there kind of suffers as a result.
Yeah, even the best laid plans often get screwed up. We had a client of ours that was launching a marketing program, and one of his key target markets was credit unions. We're big when we talk about marketing plans to get things down to where you can focus on folks that are very good and very profitable for you and very good customers for you. So as part of putting together this launch plan to target credit unions, he had asked some of his current clients to kind of give them some testimonials, to talk about what a great job that they had done. And apparently, the government agency that regulates credit unions didn't really like what these people were saying about our customer. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just saying that they did a really good job, right? And it was like they couldn't say things like that they met all the standards that were part of the regulations that they needed to do as part of being a credit union. They couldn't say certain things. So silly regulations, like my point, is often get in the way of even those best laid plans. You got to kind of veer here, veer there, and adjust your well laid out plans.
They sure do.
Right?
Yeah, that's that's just unfortunate in our world today. More and more regulations are coming on play.
So you can have problems with vendors too. I'm sure many of you had this happen before, where you order stuff from the vendors and things are good to go. You do it online, you call it in, whatever it's going to be, and then the next day they show up and guess what? The wrong parts are there, right? Or something's missing.
Oh man, doesn't that happen?
That never happens, does it? So I guess our point in debunking this myth here, in terms of the idea of being able to set your own schedule, it's good, as Jack said, have a plan for the day, for the week, for the month, whatever it's going to be. But recognizing that there's going to be a lot of things: customers, employees, vendors, families, regulations, illnesses, just different things that come and disrupt those plans and that great flexible schedule that you've got.
You can plan on that happening.
Right. So keep that in mind when you're looking to make sure to do that, or if people think that you can always control whatever your time's going to be. So, all right, stick around. When we come back, we're going to be revealing the dirty secret of the week. I'm Adam Sonhalter.
And I'm Jack Mancini with Maximum Value Partners. As we say,